should let me love you forever, forever. I wanna love you. Will you let me love you forever, forever and a day, 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 day.
Happy Friday! Welcome to TMW Online, the Melanated Way. I'm Linda. That is Abby. We're covering all things before the 90 days. Season 8, episode 15. So we're almost caught up. Mayday! 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 Appropriate. What were your overall thoughts on this episode?
Theatrics in this episode. Everybody needs to be on Broadway.
And just go ahead and start handing out the Emmys because this nonsense. But you know who my favorite person is right now? Is Daniel's uncle. Favorite. He gets the award of the episode for sure. Hey, Raydella. And I want to shout out Becca. Becca left a comment on our show from the other day that I was in tears laughing. Becca could be a stand-up comedian. That's how.
Oh, Becca leaves the best comments and commentary.
Yeah, absolutely.
So glad she's back.
So overall thoughts on this episode besides the awards and Broadway.
But besides the awards and Broadway, I think the most interesting dynamic in this episode for me was Birkin and Laura and Michael. And it's interesting because, like, even though I know that Birkin is not a good partner, I am in this situation, I'm rooting for him.
Yeah. We had a good run, Abby. We had a good run with our agreement. We are not there at all.
I'll explain why later.
Okay, because we had a good run. All right, let's go to Elise and Josh. Elise really feels like there's something off with the friendship between Nat and Josh, and she can't wrap her mind around why a woman would allow a grown man to live rent-free at her house. And I personally think, she's not wrong. You know what I mean? Like, why are you grown? You're almost 40 and you're letting a whole other grown woman take care of you. And like, what does she get out of it? Besides like, oh yeah, we're good friends, but like, yeah, you can come and stay with me as a good friend, but you need an exit strategy. I learned that the hard way. Never let someone stay at your place if they have nowhere else to go ever. Like, they have to have an exit strategy or they will be there forever.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't get it either. And the thing that's even more concerning about it to me is that Natalie described it as, I said Natalie. I don't know if her name's Natalie. Nat described it as, and I was going through a hard time. Mm-hmm. So there's some emotional thing there. It's not just a weird financial issue. There's some kind of emotional connection there that I do think that Elise is right for feeling something for. But my thing is, what you're feeling doesn't mean plow through it and ask more questions. It means retreat.
100%. 100% agree with you. Nikki, hey Nikki. Nikki agrees with you. Says same Abby. Laura's telenovela plan is falling apart. So back to Elise and Josh. She wakes up in the morning, he's not there, and she's freaking out because, she's used to a different type of lifestyle. And she's feeling like she's living in a frat house with 2 frat boys. And again, I don't think she's wrong. So she's feeling overwhelmed. She wants to go home. And, ladies, I always encourage you, go with your gut instinct. Your gut is telling you the truth. Your gut is that is like the fight or flight situation. Listen to it.
Mm-hmm.
So he actually ends up, she has a whole meltdown. Okay, she has a whole meltdown. She's crying. He actually gets home while she's crying and hears her and decides to turn around. I was like, this fool's not trying to comfort her. He's like, oh no, I'm not trying to deal with any of that. But she hears the door open So she goes after him, and I was like, that is a red flag. He sees that you're in pain and rather not be there.
Mm-hmm.
And then instead tells her when she goes out there and she's crying, well, I ran to do a few things for work while you were asleep because, I knew you were sleeping and I need to take care of work, but I also know I need to take care of you. I was like, well, that's not true because she was in pain and crying and you did not take care of her. You ran away.
Exactly. Into
So
the hall.
crazy. But she's still falling for Josh and she wants it to work out. But she doesn't really believe anything he's saying about him leaving and leaving for work. She's still not over the fact that he lied and said that he was living with his mom when he was really living with Nat. But they decide to call a truce and have a beach day and go to Bondi Beach, which is on my bucket list. And they go surfing. And that was like a fun, light moment because she was terrible. It was her first time. And falling all over the place, but they were having a great time. They made a whole day of it. They went to eat, but casually. They got some chicken burgers and fish burgers. And I was telling Abby offline how that food looked delicious. Like that fish looked like fresh and fried and looked really, really yummy.
I have a question for you, Linda.
Huh?
Is it weird to you, or is it just me, to be asking someone if they participated in some activity with another woman prior to your relationship or prior to your date?
It's weird.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
I was
weird.
just checking.
It's weird. And we're going to get to her shortly. So these burgers, he's like, yes, let me get some tomato and aioli on them. And she's like, oh, and ketchup. But she didn't realize in Australia, they call ketchup tomato. I thought that was kind of cute.
Yeah.
So,
I would have been confused by the aioli part, but then I remembered that aioli is part mayonnaise.
yeah, aioli is just mayo and whatever garlic aioli. You know what I mean? Like whatever extra ingredient you're putting on, it's just mayo and that ingredient.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised someone hasn't made like a ranch aioli because Americans love you some ranch.
Oh, I'm sure it's out there somewhere.
Oh, probably. I saw a commercial, totally sidetracked, but I'm just like fascinated by this fascination that you all have with ranch. They had a whole T-bone steak, you guys. I don't know what the commercial's for, but there's a whole T-bone. Maybe it's for this thing, but they grilled 2 T-bone steaks, and then the sauce that they put on it was a ranch sauce. So you were having a ranch T-bone.
That seems like overkill.
It sounds terrible. Anyways, I digress. So they're on the beach having a beautiful like beach date dinner, and I really actually enjoyed this. I like that they had an activity, or like they went to get food, and the food was just like like finger type food where they could just chill at the beach, watch the sunset, all of that. But they have to learn how to communicate, which they don't know how to do yet. They have a ton of chemistry, sexual chemistry, yes, but they don't know how to communicate at all. So he's like, oh, I wish you could stay longer. And, your time has gone so quickly. Well, why would she stay longer when you guys are in a rental with your frat bro? Like that doesn't even make sense to me, but okay. She's worried about his life being very unstable, as she should be, because, he's like 40. He lives with a friend that takes care of him. His job is not quite stable. His money's not quite stable. And then here's the thing that is crazy to me that he threw in like it was an afterthought. So he said, this year has been a year for me to forget. It's been a hard year for him. His son leaving and moving, quote, for a better life. So he started to spiral and go out partying, and he just kept partying. But now recently he's calmed down. Now, I don't know about you, Abby, but you have a whole child that you threw in as an afterthought and with no context to why getting away from you would make it a better life. Because I then, because you guys know I get distracted, had to go to the interwebs to find out. And it turns out there's a whole story about him being like a deadbeat dad, hasn't seen his kid in forever, allegedly, is like nowhere to be found. So, allegedly. So, this is a whole thing. So, simple fact that he made this an afterthought is on par to what I'm hearing online.
Yeah.
Crazy. Hey, Tina. So, you know who we haven't seen in a while is Joslo.
Yeah, we got to check on her.
Yes, we do. So this conversation they're having, because they don't know how to use their words and communicate, and they started off with a sexual connection instead of an emotional connection. And yes, you guys, they talked online for months and months and months, but that's nothing. Okay. You know that Abby and I don't believe that that's real relationships when you're just like online daters. You need to have FaceTime with that person if you really think that you're going to have an emotional connection. And that emotional connection is what's going to move the relationship forward. Obviously, sex will move it forward quickly, but it's not sustainable if you're not compatible and you can't communicate. So this whole situation turns into a fight. And they have a terrible night, sleep in separate rooms. He goes to work out. She goes for a walk. And then we find out about her ex and how she had like a not high school, but a teenage love at 19 and moved to Florida for him. And he passed away from, quote, struggles she didn't know about. What did you think his struggles were, Abby? Because I know what I thought they were.
Oh, I immediately said addiction.
Addiction, me too. Overdosed or something. That was my guess. I don't know, and she doesn't tell us, but every other relationship she has compared to that, and also has trust issues and just like deep-seated issues that I think she probably still has to work through. So on her walk, she stops and calls her mom and dad, Woody and Beth, and tells them, I really like Josh, but she's worried about his finances and his living situation. And here's the plot twist. The dad was like, don't be so dramatic. I need you to calm down, slow your roll. Those were his words. And learn more about him because you're always so negative coming into these relationships. And basically said, like, you nag them and you're so negative that you don't give them opportunity to show who they are to you. And I was surprised by that.
I was surprised by it, but it made sense because now we're having more insight into her poor decision making and her lack of ability to walk away from men after they've shown her bad behavior. So it's not all her. They led us to believe that it was all her and her own poor choices, but it's them. It's the pressure they put on her to be in a relationship, and it's them waving away when she's bringing up what is a red flag.
So
there's no parent in the world that you should tell my partner has an unstable work, life and unstable housing, and we're in our 40s, and that parent should respond with, well, you nag people. That doesn't make sense in any parent-child relationship.
I mean, I was surprised, but I'm also, when we first started covering this season, one of our commenters, followers, besties said that just wait, because Josh is not the only problem. And this episode showed me that there's some stuff about Elise that needs to get sorted, because I think that she too, like you said, with her parents, have a whole different idea of what relationships are and communication and what makes a successful relationship. Josh is at the gym, or an outside gym. He meets up with Chris and he tells his side of their fight to Chris. And he basically chops it up to at least being jealous of Nat. And absolutely don't believe that that's what it is.
That is not what it is, but even Elise is having trouble phrasing what the issue is. It is not jealousy, but nobody's saying what the real problem is.
What's the real problem?
The real problem is that Natalie has an emotional connection to Joshua, that nobody is talking about or explaining. What is this hardship that she went through that he helped you with? What is this hardship? What is that connection?
Let's just be real. Nat has feelings for Josh, period, full stop. And if there was an opportunity to explore it more, she would. But she's like sitting in the cut saying, here I am. You were there for me emotionally. Here I am. And she's hoping that at some point he sees her in a different light. That's what that is. Let's just be real with it.
So you think he's just lying in wait?
100%. 100%. Because the only time women are friends with guys out and are friends with guys are like when they're not interested, but they're not interested in the sense like, I'll see you when I see you, we can hang out and have a good time. But what they're not about to be doing is opening their homes and paying all the bills and talking about emotional support. They're not doing that unless they are emotionally invested and want more in that friendship. Period. Mm-hmm. Full stop. Period. Full stop. Do you want to add anything else before I move on from these two?
There is something else to talk about with them.
Okay, what is it?
So when she's all the red flags about him, right? Ton of red flags. When she says, you lied to me about your living situation, his response, yeah, so what?
Did he say so what?
Maybe not verbatim, but that's what I wrote down. That's what I heard.
Okay.
Then she says, I'm afraid you might be using me. He says, why would I when I'm using Nat?
Yeah, that part. I laughed.
Why would I when I'm using Nat?
I mean, I think he thought he was being sarcastic, but there's a truth in everything. You know how people say when you're making a joke, it's based in something that you believe, even if you're just joking. So I think that he thinks he has it made over with Nat.
He didn't make an attempt at a haha or anything. That was him just showing us the truth. He's shown us enough that Elise should be able to freely walk away, but unfortunately she won't.
She won't. But I do think, Abby, that they're equally problematic for different reasons. She's lovely and I like her personality and I think she's fun, but there's some emotional stuff that I think she needs to work through. And I think that can only be worked through if she gets like some professional help.
Mm-hmm. I do think obviously like she has her own issues, but she's not a liar.
She's absolutely not a liar. She tells you exactly who she is and shows up exactly who she is. And I know that she's been getting a lot of online hate and I don't understand it. But I do understand because I know the 90 Day Fiance world from day one. Anyone that's like mildly attractive on this show gets the most hate.
The 90 Day Fiance world does not like women who are attractive and who know that they are attractive. Like women who move with confidence get a lot of hate in the 90 Day Fiance world, which is just a smaller microcosm of the real world.
It's crazy. It's absolutely. Listen, she posted something or she did an interview or something and women are freaking out about her outfits and yada, yada, yada. And I was like, her outfits are fire. And at the end of the day, I think it's the women that can't wear those outfits that are hating on her. Like, let her. We get mad when men try to patrol what we wear and how we look, what size we should be, all of those things. But then you guys turn around as females and hate on the same things. Like, make that make sense. Make it make sense. Women are the biggest haters of other women, but then we'll go ahead and freak out if a guy says, "Oh, what are you wearing?" or "That doesn't look good." You're the same person that turned around and said, "Michelle around the corner, oh my God, look how short her skirt is. She shouldn't be wearing that." You guys are hypocrites, and I can't stand it.
Yeah. Yeah. She looks good in everything that she wears. And even if she didn't look good, so what? It makes no difference for me in my life, and she likes it.
That's what I'm saying, you guys.
Yeah.
How does it affect you unless you're jealous and you're hating on her? Who cares what people wear, especially
I
women?
know.
We will wear whatever the F we want.
But, a lot of people spend time worrying about things that really have no effect on them. And it honestly, like, your life would be a lot easier if you would just let some of them go. Like, my clients like to say a prayer before you go into court. To me, that's not going to make any difference. But do I say, no, 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 no. You cannot say your prayer. No, because it doesn't hurt me. It doesn't make a difference. Say your prayer, right? But when I go get my nails done and I want to put sunscreen on before they put the gel nails on, the guy's always like, "It's UV. It's not gonna hurt your hair. It's not gonna hurt your hair." Sir, if it doesn't matter to you, like, it makes no difference to you. If you don't believe it, that's fine. But I believe this sunscreen is gonna keep me from having 80-year-old hands when I'm only 46. So let me do it.
Those are two wildly different examples, but thank you for sharing. All right, we're moving on to Daniel and Lisa. Y'all, I cannot with these two. I cannot. That's it. I'm so done with them. You know what, you guys? I couldn't be in the same room as Lisa. She drives me absolutely bonkers. Her screechy whining, it's like chalk on a blackboard. It's so annoying to me. I just sit back and I'm like, ugh. They're going to go talk to Daniel's uncle. She wants to know what will happen if she doesn't get forgiven. Like, what will happen if he doesn't forgive us, she says. And I said, us? Who?
I wrote it, I said, forgive us.
Yeah, forgive us. Who needs to, us? Oh, no, sweetie. You did all the lying and thieving and nonsense. You took blessings under the shroud of hypocrisy. No, that's you, not forgive us. That's all forgive you. Okay. And then Daniel, who also is a hypocrite as far as I'm concerned, because this fool keeps saying how much he loves this woman. You don't love her. You are looking at the passage to America and that green card. That is what you love. Mm-hmm. And you don't lose it because A, you've put in all this work, and B, she pays your bills.
Mm-hmm.
Who would want to lose that? You are, and so the hypocrisy comes here, okay? So his tribe, his religion, his country, all the things don't believe in same-sex anything. So he's willing to not stand in his beliefs in order to get what he wants. And I find that scary. So you're not standing for, and whatever you believe, it's not the point. I don't care what you believe. But if you're going to believe in something, stand in it. Don't be wishy-washy because you're using someone in order to get more of what you want. That sounds ridiculous to me, at least. So he then says, well, everyone's a sinner. So we can go to our uncle and ask for forgiveness. He still loves her. He still wants to marry her. I call BS on all of that. You want to use this white woman to get to America, period. Mm-hmm. He knows that she lied to his uncle, and because she lied, there's that disgrace there. And so he's nervous and she's nervous to go and see him again. So they go and meet Modestus. He arrives. There's some like little greeting. He's looking at them like, why am I here again? What is the problem? He said, which sounds like something I would say. Like, what is all this theatrics? What's the problem? Let's get to it. And then Daniel's like, well, after the blessings, we found out a few things, or I found out a few things. She's been married not just twice, but 5 times, and she's not legally divorced. And also, for the last 21 years, she's been in relationships with several.
It was like that commercial where it's like, but wait, there's more.
I wish I took a screenshot. His face, you could tell he was about to spin out, but remember that he's on international TV. His whole face contorted, and then he pulled it back real quick and said, quote, "This is too much." I think it is too much. It was too much for me, and the way he just said it was wild. She starts crying up. Let me explain. And he shoots her a dirty look and says, "It is not your time to talk." You told me you stopped with the lesbianism. A word? Is that a word?
I've never heard it said, so I don't know, but I'm gonna let him have it. Let's add it to the lexicon.
Listen, I am not one to talk because I make stuff up all the time. So he says, you told me that you stopped the lesbianism. And she's like, I have. Then why am I hearing all of this right now? Like, why are we doing this? If it was just that one time you stopped, I gave you the blessing. Why are we now talking about it again? Is because you lied. And then he's like, where is the honesty? 21, and the way he words it, you guys, is just 21 years with your fellow woman is an abomination.
The way they both say fellow woman, your fellow woman, it cracks me up.
Yeah, it does. She starts crying even more and says, I've stopped. It was in my past. And then she said, the culture in America is different. Here again is the other hypocrite, right? Because Abby and I have talked about this, and I just feel like if you're not even a friend to yourself, nor are you a friend to your own community. You are willing to say, like, stand up on what you are. Like, okay, you were a lesbian for 21 years and all of a sudden you're not, which I don't understand actually, but whatever. That's not for me to understand or judge, but stand in your convictions. Instead, you're downplaying, and you're not a friend. You're actually you are the worst type of foe to have in a community. Like in the Black community where there are Black people who do not support because they don't think there's enough to go around. That's not an ally. That's not a supporter. That is a hater. And it's the worst hater because they're right there in your community. Same thing I feel for her and her community. You're literally not standing up for the rights and all the things that you all have fought for. And now you're like, oh, well, that was in my past and I'm not like that anymore. And, you have to forgive me. Did you think you needed to be forgiven the last 21 years?
I mean, the things that she's saying don't even go together. On the one hand, she's saying, forgive me. On the other hand, she's saying it's my culture, which I have a problem with her saying that it's the culture, because it's not the culture. Like, it's a very recent development in American history that you're able to get married as a gay person. So it's not the culture. It has not extended over your 21 years of lesbianism. Okay? It's not the culture. And even if it, let's say, how do I want to say this? If you are a lesbian or if you are gay, that is what you are, no matter where you are in the world.
That part.
Now, whether or not you're free to express that may be different because of the culture that you're raised in, but the culture didn't make you gay. The culture didn't make you a lesbian. You were that already. And then you may have had to suppress it based on where you were. You know, a lot of the clients that I work with, they come to the United States and they already had a feeling that they were different. You know, some people are more formed and they're able to say, I am gay. And some people are a little bit more like, I've never been attracted to girls. I've always wanted to spend more time with my guys, my friends, like my other male friends, you know. They're not as fully formed in their thought, but it's there. It exists in them.
Mhm.
And then they're able to fully express it or embrace it by the time I see them and they're wanting to apply for asylum, for example. But it already exists. I've never had a client come in and say, since arriving in the United States and being exposed to the culture, I've turned gay. That doesn't happen. You were either that already or you weren't.
I mean, yeah, she's a walking contradiction for sure. So Modestus is pissed. He's like, you've been telling me lies. He goes on to say, what will the gods of our land say? She freaks out and it starts like this crying, whining thing that lasted way. It was, see, I'm already giving my own self a headache. It lasted way too long. And the uncle's not having it. He's like, this marriage is going to be over. Then this is my favorite part. He turns to Daniel and says, why is she crying? It's making me more angry. These faking cries for sympathy, the hyperventilating, save the crocodile tears. You always say one thing and you do another. And the whining is annoying. All the stuff that he said was everything that I was feeling. And I was so proud that he said it out loud because that's just manipulation. That's her like go-to. Is she thinks that she can cry out of the situation. We're only here because you're the liar. You're the liar, the manipulator. You're the one that decided that you were going to not say anything. So by not communicating the truth for all this time and then now getting caught in your lies, now you're the victim. You're the liar. You created this. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yes. Hashtag that part, Karen. So no, what we're not about to do is the crocodile tears. And I'm going to say it, and it's going to be a little controversial, but I stand by everything I say. The crocodile tears in an African nation by the white woman is, I mean, you all do whatever you do in America, but that shit's not going to fly in Africa. No. Like you said, it's a different culture. So he's like, how can I trust you? I don't believe you. You know, you can save these crocodile tears because tomorrow you may go back to your same vomit. I was like, ooh, that I have not used vomit in such a powerful way.
Yeah, I was thinking, well, we say poo poo, you know, but we could also use vomit. It's the same explanation of crap.
Yeah, it's very. I was like, oh, let me store that. I will probably add that to the repertoire. Modestus turns to Daniel and says, you know, because of the kindness of my heart and because I love you, I will now have to consult the elders and spiritual leaders and the chief priest for guidance because this is above me saying I can approve this and bless this. So that's the next step. What do you want to add?
Absolutely nothing. This nothing. That was enough.
Yeah, because it's enough. Listen, it's enough. Listen, those two, yes, great TV, but they drive me crazy.
I mean, you know what's really irritating about it is that we've seen Lisa's interview and we know that she is still not taking accountability for any of her behavior.
At all. And the whole purpose, her daughter recommended she do the show so she could see who she is.
Mm-hmm. So she's just refusing to acknowledge any part of her behavior, any part of her bad parenting. In my opinion, that is a cry for help on Faith's part. A cry for help. Like, I want to maintain a relationship with my mother, but it's getting very difficult. She's in this stupid relationship with a man in Nigeria. How can I get her to see herself?
Yep.
The extreme of saying, let me recommend my mom for this TV show as a way to try and get her to see herself is crazy.
It's absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. Oh, I'm doing all the things here. Cool. Okay, we're moving on to Beer Can, Laura, and Michael.
Yeah.
Dear TLC, you know, the little bit of shades that you guys do all the time is just so good. There's so many layers. So even in the intro where you have Beer Can, Laura, and Michael, and it's Laura and Michael, and then Beer Can pushes her to the side and gets in between them. Hilarious. The fact that you guys tugged on my nerves opening the scene with the cat. So the market, fresh market, all the cats all over the place, and you throw the fresh fish to the cat, and the cat's eating the fish was like too much for me because that's in the market. And like, oh, like, come on, you guys. Just come on. Beer Can got his testosterone on 1,000. You know, we left off with him saying to Michael, do you like violence? And he's like, you know, you came all this way to see Laura, to make sure that Laura is good and that she's happy. You bring her this gift of the book and like the packing tubes. I don't know what that was about. And Beercon is like super sarcastic. He's like, oh, that's so sweet of you. That's so thoughtful. Yeah, you're so thoughtful. And this whole attitude, you know, last episode I told you guys he was acting like a serial killer. This episode, same thing, but also he was acting childish to me. Like, this is very, your 20s is showing here. You're showing that you don't have experience dealing with complex situations. You don't have experience dealing with different types of personalities. And, you know, if I was the HR manager in your life, you probably wouldn't get hired. And if you were hired, you probably would get fired, because all of this means to me is that you need to go and get some more life experience. Like, all of this was like way too much childish behavior. Laura feels like Beer Can's being super cold to Michael. And one of the things I laughed and I thought of you, Abby, is that Michael said to Laura, you know, you're having a great time, but you're in vacay mode. And we talk about what that looks like all the time. And Michael's wrong. You're in this bubble and you're in a vacay mode, but this is not real life. Like, what are you going to do? He says, oh, that's later, but this is not real life. I need you to like realize that you're on vacation. And that's what this is. Beer Can then says, out of the blue, you know, I can show you around my country in my city, friend of my love. The passive aggressiveness of it all just is like, ugh. And then he goes to camera and says, you know what? I know I'm being a jerk, but I'm being a jerk from the beginnings, and I'm playing the game so that Michael knows what the boundaries are. It's all a strategy, and I'm great at the strategy, and I play this game all the time. I'm going to get to know him now. I'm going to find out his motives. And at the end of the day, this MF, he says, I'll stop it if his motives are to get back with Laura. And I was like, didn't you feel like that was just a lot?
That was overkill. That was overkill. But I will explain why I'm still on his side. But that was overkill.
Oh, it was too much. Absolutely too much. They decide that they're going to hang out. They're in the taxi. They're having the soccer versus baseball conversation. And without going in too deep, I just think that's interesting because baseball is an American pastime. It's so huge here. But soccer is an international pastime. And outside, like it's in the last, I want to say, 10 years has grown in America, but in the world, soccer, which everyone else calls football, but America always has to do everything on their own, but that's another thing. Soccer is the biggest sport in the world. Do you all know that internationally? Look it up. It's true. It's bigger than football, it's bigger than basketball, and it's way bigger than baseball. Anyways, they have that conversation in the taxi, and I thought it was interesting. And then Michael's going to go check into his hotel while they wait for him. And meanwhile, Beer Can turns to Lisa and says, I love keeping my enemies close. Trying to be this like tough guy stuff. And it was just like, bro, you're like 120 pounds, 5 foot nothing. Like, I mean, I could go on. I'm not buying whatever you're trying to throw down. Crazy. So they go, and I can't remember, Abby. I know in Turkey it's called something else, but they go to a coffee bar and then they get this hookah, but in Turkey it's called
Shisha.
So they go and get shisha. And again, Beer Can out of nowhere surprises me. He apologizes to Michael and explains why he was being a jerk and what his intentions are with Lisa, or excuse me, Laura. I'm traumatized by Lisa, that's why. Intentions with Laura are, and they have the conversation about how he makes money, the gambling, his debts, how he lost 3 coffee shops that he owned, how he had to sell everything, yada, yada, yada. And at the end of the day, Michael doesn't see this working out. Because both him and Laura don't see as gambling as a stable source of income for the long term. And here's where Michael's like, also, you like stay up till 2:30 gambling, and Laura gets up at 4 a.m. She works out, she goes on long walks, she goes boating, all the things, and she's very active. And like that wouldn't fit into this lifestyle. And one of the things he said, was that you're supposed to marry your best friend where you want to be together and you spend time together. And here's where I thought Beer Can had a point, because he's like, well, you consider yourself best friends. Why didn't you fall in love with each other?
Mm-hmm.
By your own logic.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was a brilliant question. That's the only thumbs up I'm giving him for all of this. Michael couldn't answer that, and neither could Laura. They both had no answer and literally said, I can't answer that. I have no answer for that. And then we find out that there's, quote unquote, according to Laura, more to the story than Birkin knows. At the end of the day, Beer Can's like, I'm going to fight for her. I'm suspicious of whatever this is, but I will fight for Laura. Just know that. They end their night. Before they end their night, apparently Beer Can's like, I want to spend some one-on-one time alone with Michael. So the next day, that's what they do. They go to hang out alone to play pool. Laura tries to needle her way in there and figure out what they're going to be talking about. But Beer Can's like, I don't know. I'll have to see when I get there. And Beer Can, right off the bat, they're playing pool. Right off the bat, he's like, you know what? If you want something, you should go for it. So again, passive aggressive, directly to Michael. And he's like, just tell me you're in love with her. Just be honest. And I thought, Abby, that Michael and Laura had been friends for much longer. But he's like, I've known her for a year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they were like lifetime long friends, but a year and a half. And says, and this is, okay. Men and their fragile egos drive me crazy. They really do. Absolutely just Drives me crazy. And you would rather make yourself look better than hold your friends' secrets? Crazy to me. So here's what happened. Beercan accuses Michael of being in love with Laura. And he's like, I've known her for a year and a half. If I was in love with her, I would have made my move long time ago if I loved her. I haven't made that move. But Laura made a move on me, and I told her no, because I can't reciprocate those feelings. So was the opportunity there? Yes, but I chose not to take it. Now, do you see how that's all male-centered? Do you see how he didn't have to say any of that? But you're going to throw Laura, your so-called best friend, under the bus to protect your fragile ego because you're being confronted by another man who also has testosterone issues and is trying to buck up on you and call you out for something that's not happening. And then, this is the part that blew my mind. Then the two of them broed out, and now it's all Laura's fault. So now Beer Can feels betrayed because he can't now trust Laura. He believes Michael, who he hated just 5 minutes ago, over Laura, who he says he loves, on this. Make it make sense. Make it make sense.
So here's where we diverge in the woods. This is Laura's fault. And the reason why it's Laura's fault is because she has insisted upon maintaining a friendship with someone who has feelings for her.
Well, he doesn't have feelings for her, Abby. She has feelings for him.
Go way, way back to episode 2 or 3 when Laura is getting ready to leave. And Michael's saying he doesn't want her to go. And she's saying, if there is a reason that you don't want me to go, if you have some feeling for me, then I need you to say that. I need you to express that. I need you to act on it. And he just sits there and cries. Okay. I could be completely wrong. But the way I interpreted that is that because of his own insecurities, his disability, that he is afraid of going after this relationship and potentially maybe losing a friend or other reasons he's afraid of pursuing it, but that there are some additional feelings that are there. Okay? And they together have decided to maintain this friendship despite whatever extra feelings are happening. She's now invited this man to come into her relationship and says she needs approval from him for this relationship to go forward. Why are you letting this man have this position in your life? If you didn't allow this person to have this position in your life, this situation wouldn't have happened. So that's why I'm like, this is Laura's fault.
I hear what you're saying. I no. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, I think Laura should walk away from this crazy relationship, but so that's her fault. But I don't know if I agree with you on the dynamics between Michael, Laura, and Beer Can. I'm not sure. And also, let me just put this out there as well, a little bit of a backstory. I found out some things about Beer Can that I'm not going to talk about yet because we're not quite caught up, but he is a terrible individual. And I don't care who your black friend is. I don't care about any of that stuff. There are certain things that you absolutely cannot and ever say, period, full stop. Beer Can, cut that shit out. It's annoying. Okay. Moving on. Emma.
All right.
Oh, Emma. You know what? As two travelers that can travel solo and can have a good time solo, I really wish we could just teach a master class for Emma. Because I just cannot imagine traveling halfway across the world and my trip is just about men and not the beautiful opportunity that a lot of people do not get. There's a lot of people that have never traveled in their lives. They've never left their backyards. And
Mhm.
you're halfway across the world and you're so focused on being engaged to whoever, it doesn't matter who, just whoever that you're missing. You're on a beautiful beach, you missed the opportunity. Like, no. You went to a cafe, you missed up. And did you pay? Okay. She's en route to see Muhammad. And again, she went to go see this dude that she was engaged to. He broke up with her with no backstory, just I'm done with you, right? Which is the same kind of situation that she put herself in with Ziad. And it's full circle moment from everything I keep trying to tell you guys. The emotional attachment, the conversation, the communication is way more important than just like jumping into bed with someone. Now, you know that I always say sex is important if that's part of the compatibility, but off the jump, that shouldn't be the first thing because then you have a false sense of connection, which is
Mhm.
what happened with Ziad. Ziad was blowing her up, gaslighting her the whole time. She gets down there. He acts all shy and timid and in public, but then, slinks into a room, gets what he wants, and then drops her.
Mhm.
Same thing with Muhammad. Muhammad is like, "Oh, I'm gonna marry you," but he wasn't ever gonna marry her. But he got what he wanted and then dropped her. So here we are. Breaks up with her. She's excited to see him. She says that he feels familiar. The area that she's in, Casablanca, feels familiar to her. She still has her engagement ring, brought the engagement ring with her, which I thought was totally weird. And we find out that part of her thought that she'd see Muhammad. And I got to tell you, I'm a big believer in where you put your energy, that's what's going to come into fruition. So you were in this whole other relationship and you're surprised that it broke down, but meanwhile your thoughts were with someone else and you even brought, a symbol of your love with you. That it's all connected, y'all.
Yeah.
Then she put the ring back on and said it felt nice. And I literally said, "What? What?"
Go home, Emma. Go home, Emma. I said it like go home, ET.
What? But why are you wearing an engagement ring when that man broke your heart and broke up with you with no explanation? Why would you then put a ring on?
What is this desperation? You just got broke up with from someone else. Why are you Anyway, I didn't even write Emma's name down on my notes. I had no opinion about anything she was doing in this episode.
Yeah, I mean, you make a really great point. What is the desperation? And the desperation is not even, it's to be engaged. It's like a weird thing. Like you just desperately want to be engaged. So she goes on to say that she's open to starting a relationship with him again. I was like, who with
He
who?
he didn't mention that at all. There's been no foundation for you to believe that at all, Emma.
And
You're
not only
with it.
that, why are you begging this man who treated you terribly for anything? You said, oh, he said, come to Casablanca, but you're the one that called him. You're the one that said, hey, I'm in town. And then you know what he said? Have fun. I can tell you from personal experience, when someone comes into a town and they're like, hey, I'm here. Okay, great. Have a great time. I don't want to have anything to do with you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what he was saying. But she took it further. And you know what? Because he has an ego and a fragile ego because he's a man, he was like, let me see how much she'll put up with because they'll continue to push and push and push to see how much you'll put up with.
Mm-hmm.
Because they can. You haven't set any boundaries. So she is on her way to Casablanca. She's nervous. She's remembering all the things from her last trip to Morocco, and she feels like there's a lot that's been unsaid between her and Muhammad. She gets there, and that was the other thing that pissed me off. You know, you guys, when you're on a date, I'm going to tell you something. Don't be the first one there and you're waiting for the man. It just looks, it reeks of like, don't be late, be on time, but don't be like early and then you're sitting around waiting for the man to make the entrance. You are the prize, my friend. Don't do that. Just don't do that. Even if you have to sit in your car, if you took a ride share or whatever, chill over there. Let him get there, and then you go in. Like it just all of this screamed of desperation. So she gets there, and she sends him a text, desperation, saying, "I'm here. It's outside patio," and then she continues to sit there. Server comes. She's like, "Oh no, I'm going to wait for the guy to get here." Okay. Enjoy your surroundings. Look where you are. You may never go back to this place, and you're just not even going to have a moment with it. No, instead, you're all on your phone. You see that he's online, that he read your messages, he hasn't responded. That should tell you everything you need to know. It really should. It really should. But I'm of the opinion that I will never chase you. I am just so not interested in that. Do I like to go on dates? Do I love relationships? All the things, yes. But what I'm not about to do is chase you, because why should I? Because I'm also great as a single individual and can enjoy my life. So I'm not about to chase something that doesn't want me. Like that's just, I think that's where I'm irritated with her, because she just the opportunity of travel and she's not utilizing it, and it makes no sense to me. So then she sees that he's like not responding. So she's like, I'm gonna call him. No answer. And then a little bit later, he's like, I have a fiance, leave me alone. I don't want to see you anymore. I don't want to hear from you anymore. And she freaks out. And this is where she ordered a cappuccino. And I was like, I hope she paid for it, because she's like, I'm done. I'm done. And scampers off. And she's upset. She's like, Zia dumped me and left me in the desert, and now Muhammad is standing me up. In what world am I the single person and they're not? And she has this whole moment with the ring. She throws the ring into the ocean. And I just felt like she missed the whole entire point of all of this.
Absolutely. She missed the point, because why should he have a fiance but I'm still single? That's what you got from this? That's what you got from traveling from Marrakesh to Casablanca to see a man who has treated you poorly, who broke up your engagement, who didn't say, let me come to see you? Like, I feel like I may be very wrong, but I think it's like an hour, maybe even more than an hour between those two cities. He didn't even bother to try and come and see you. You are going there. Just, girl, I need you to get it together. I need you to get it together. You are not unattractive. You are not unintelligent. You are not. What is going on, Emma?
What is going on, Emma? That's it. That's all. And you know what? Spend some. You're in your 20s, girl. Go home. Surround yourself with your friends. And if traveling is only for men, then maybe just like go for dinners and libraries and the gym and events, and just start to meet people and figure out who you are as a person, because this isn't it. And this is not a good representative for the 20 somethings, because it makes you seem crazy. It makes you like your whole identity is in being engaged, and you don't care who it is. And I know some of you guys don't believe in whatever you believe, but I believe in God, and God is protecting you. He keeps breaking these relationships because you're about to tie yourself to something that literally could kill you, because you don't know who these people are, and you just want to tie yourself to whoever. And I'm not saying just them. I'm just thinking of the woman who went on the boat, and her husband said that she fell out of the boat It's too common. I can't remember what it's called, but it's called something. Where
It's called, well, there's the one where the guys take you like hiking or skiing or
yeah,
something. There's
yeah.
alpine divorce.
Alpine
And then
divorces.
yeah, and then the
Alpine.
one with involving water is a different name that I can't remember.
The Alpine, what I'm calling it all one right now. Alpine divorce is where they take you on an activity and all of a sudden, boom, 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 and it's always the men. I want someone to do a study on this. Someone, please do a study on why men are always killing women. Let's do a study. All right. Anything else you want to add before I move?
Absolutely nothing on Emma.
Stig and Aviva, overall thoughts on their segment.
I would like to make you a proposal.
Sure.
Let's go meet a stranger and just have unprotected sex in hopes that we get pregnant and have a baby. Does that make sense to anyone out there? Does that sound like a good idea to anyone? Does absolutely anyone believe that that is going to pan out into a wonderful situation and a beautiful life?
Abby, did I send you the video about the woman with her like 10 baby daddies and they each had an issue? Did I send that to you the other day?
No.
Oh, you guys, this is when you say that, this is all I think of, because we just have to start making better choices as women. Like why are you doing that? Why are you having these online quote unquote relationships, going wherever you're going and literally having unprotected sex in 2026 with someone that you don't know? And I'm not saying go ahead and have a one night stand, do whatever you got to do, but can you use your mind? It is 2026. There are too many things going on for you to like contract anything or whatever over not having what? And then to talk about having babies? You don't even know this fool, and this fool's been cheating on you this whole time. Okay, I need to find this thing because you know what, you guys? It was the craziest thing that I have heard. It was the craziest thing. Who did I send this to? I could have swore it was you.
No, I would have remembered that.
Well, here it is. Can I play this, you think? On YouTube? Okay, I need you guys to hear this. Okay.
So my first baby daddy, which was my first love, and he's the father of my oldest, he has transitioned from Tony to Tracy.
I don't think I would have told that.
My second baby daddy was kicked in the chest by a horse. It gave him an instant heart attack and he died.
Jesus Christ.
My third baby daddy, just a deadbeat. I didn't know that he was married, and when I told him I was pregnant, he confessed to her what the situation was and all that. She went with it, and now we just waiting on the DNA test to come back so that they can pay child support. My fourth baby daddy decided he wanted to fucking be a pirate and go rob the boat freights and shit like that. So he is now serving 20 years. And my last two kids have the same father, and he is 72 years old, living in a nursing home with dementia.
Okay. My point being this, she obviously does not use protection. She obviously doesn't communicate. She's got a bunch of baby daddies, and the only common denominator is her. So I say all that to say, coming back to Stig and Aviva, why as a woman are you putting yourself in that position? That's my question. Just like this lady has like 100 baby daddies, and you know, one is married, one is dementia, one's in prison. Like, it's because you're having sex with these men that you don't know, and you're having unprotected sex. If you had protected sex, then maybe you wouldn't be in the predicament that you are in. And Aviva being 26 years old, and then you go to meet your internet boyfriend who's also a cheater and a liar, but you don't know all those things yet, even though you're Auntie Spring has been trying to warn you. You were just like, no, you're so in love and you want to have a baby. And you talked about having a baby before you even met him. It couldn't be me, Abby. It couldn't be me.
It couldn't be me either. Listen, number 3, 4, 5, 6, that wouldn't be me either because I would have been at the chop shop.
I'm going to send that to you because you have to actually see her to be like, what is happening right now? Your fourth baby daddy did what? He's a pirate?
I would simply choose to believe that that's AI.
Girl, it is not AI.
No, but yeah, Stig and Aviva don't make any sense to me. I mean, like on top of all the things that we've said that are irresponsible about it, let's say that she did get pregnant. So now you're going to go back to the States and be raising this baby alone, you know, because Stig doesn't have permission to come and go as he pleases to the United States. We don't know what his financial situation is, if he has the money to be able to do that. So you're looking at being a single parent of a biracial child in an area where, you know, based on what your family looks like, is not very diverse. Nobody's thinking about that.
Yep. 100%. Remember we watched, the 90-day, the island one, Abby?
The Paradise one?
Love in
Yes.
Paradise. And the girl went to Jamaica, ended up getting pregnant, and that guy is a deadbeat. Same thing. Now she's a single parent.
Exactly. A single parent of a biracial child. And this is not going to sound very nice. Do I need to say it? I don't need to say it. I'll say it anyway. But I get so fed up with these Black men who just drop babies off to all these random white women. And then these children end up being raised in these precarious situations. And depending on how much, depending on what their hair texture is, depending on what their color is, their treatment can be very, very bad. And then we see them years later of being raised in their racist families and listen to all the trauma that they've gone through and how they feel rejected. And do y'all think that's fair to do that to these kids? Okay, I'm done.
Yep. They have a beach day. They're snorkeling, and after a rough few days with all the rumors of Stig's cheating and lying, I mean, I don't know who said they were rumors. Like, okay. She believes Stig. She believes that he's been faithful and she loves him, and things are going to get better because her Aunt Spring has left that morning. And even though the auntie is like, be careful, be careful, be careful, Aviva is choosing to believe Stig because she loves him. And she goes on to talk about how life could be tough as a wife or girlfriend of, quote, you, because he is some type of superstar. And every time I hear those stupid words for people that are not superstars, like AKA Soldier Boy, it makes me angry. But okay. You know why? Because his cheating and lying has nothing to do with the music that he does. It has all to do with his personality and the type of individual he appears to be.
Correct.
But Aviva says she's willing to be the wife or girlfriend of him because she enjoys his soul. I thought that was very deep of her to say, but very inaccurate, because what part of his soul do you know? Just because you're having unprotected sex does not mean you know his soul.
Absolutely not.
He does this whole diatribe about how he's grateful to have her here in Belize, how he's grateful that she's staying by his side, which really translates into, I'm just happy that you're here believing my lies, and that even though everyone was trying to warn you about me, you decided to be delusional and stay by my side. Because just a few days ago, when you were on your phone and I had that whole crash and burn spin out because you weren't paying attention to me, you were still by my side because you weren't saying that a few days ago.
Mm-hmm.
But you're saying it now because you didn't get caught and she believes your lies over even your dad. Your dad is like, you ain't shit.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Aviva's chosen to just bury her head in the sand for some reason because she could have easily said, let me see from your phone the rest of this conversation.
I thought that's what we were supposed to be doing. I thought that that's what was happening. She's like, didn't she say, I need to see the text and the pictures for myself? But she abandoned that.
She only wanted to see what the girl had. And then she deduced from what the girl had, well, it doesn't seem that serious.
Yeah, no. Then you cannot be a part of the Women Detectives Club.
No.
You know, I read something recently where it says when a woman feels something's off about her relationship, she is a better detective than the FBI. And that is absolutely true. It's true of myself. It's true of that one. I have this friend named Beth. And when I tell you, Beth can be in a room with a guy and in under an hour, she knows everything and will tell you, no, don't do that. No, don't go for that guy. And here's why. Blah, 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 blah. She's the FBI. She is the true. Listen. That being said, he's gaslighting and love bombing all in the same little thing. Grateful that you're here in Belize. Grateful that you're by my side. I keep falling for you day after day after day. And I want you to know that I love you. And I fell in love with you on this trip. Now, don't forget, so he's not as blatant as Daniel, but I don't want you to forget then a few episodes back, his goal is to get to America. He wants to get to America just like Soulja Boy wanted to come to America to pursue his singing, rapping, whatever it is that he does. Stig said that. Do you remember that, Abby?
No. Remind me what he said. I don't remember him saying that.
America. Basically, he would love to live in America. And he would love to live in America because that's where all like the big stars are. So low key, same shit, different pile. So he says he doesn't want to lose her. And here's where I just had to throw in the towel because I just spent 20 minutes telling you guys how you probably shouldn't just jump into bed with any random without using protection. When she said, Aviva said that she wanted to be engaged by the end of the trip, I threw in the towel. You what? You only have a few days left and you what? So this fool said he loved you after he got away with all the lies and secrets. And not only are you guys having unprotected sex and you want a baby, but now you want to be engaged? Abby, like, what am I missing? Because I am like, I'm confused. I don't understand what's happening right now.
Whatever you missed, I also missed.
Don't get it. Stig has designed. He organized a romantic getaway at San Ignacio. Yes. And I want to go because they went to see the Mayan culture. And then the room was really, I don't believe he set that up, but whatever. It was really cute. And then he arranged a cooking class, which actually I don't believe that either, but wouldn't that be awesome, Abby? You're on a trip, Mayan culture, and then now you get to actually make traditional Mayan food, which is what they did. We find out, wheat wasn't in those days accessible to the Mayans, so everything was corn-based, and they show how they roll the corn into the masa, and the masa turns into corn tortillas. They add like smoked chicken and rice, and then it's a whole thing. And up my alley. Dave they take the cooking class, they make it sexual. He's behind her, and they're rolling the thing. The whole thing happens. I wasn't interested in any of that because I don't care
That
about.
lady's face was hilarious. And they're over there rolling. It reminded me of that scene from Ghost when,
Yeah,
like that. She's like rolling the cord, and then they cut to that lady's face, and she's all,
yeah. He was not impressed. She's like, I'm so sick of these damn tourists. So sick of the tourists and the locals running amok. The whole thing. Like, her face said the whole thing. So they're eating their delicious food. And then they have the conversation about, when are you getting your period? And are you having pregnancy cravings? And they both want her to be pregnant because he wants a future with her. And I just thought, like, anchor baby. I thought he thought that, and not that that's how it works. I know that it doesn't work, but what I was thinking is that he thinks that that's how he's going to get his passage to America because his kid is there.
I was wondering if there was like some cultural element that I was missing, because I know that, well, when Kalani was on the show and we were talking about like having a Samoan partner, it's kind of common for them to just have a kid, and then that's your partner for life,
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that they're going to be faithful, but it just, so I was like, is this a cultural thing that I'm missing where they think that having the baby first is a good idea besides them and not like getting to know each other very deeply?
I didn't think of that. That's an excellent point. But I also saw the preview for the next episode, and because he's a liar and men lie, the fact that he's like, oh yeah, I'm so happy and I would want you to be pregnant, but then when she's taking the test, he's like crossing his fingers that she's not. So it told me everything I needed to know. Anything else you want to add before I move on to this little fool?
Let's go for the last bit of ridiculousness.
Trisha, love you. Rick, I cannot stand you. I think you are a terrible, 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 terrible individual that is wasting this 25-year-old's time and energy and making a mockery of the whole situation. They wake up in the morning, and just like Jovan, he is complaining. He's complaining about the wood dust that is getting into his eyes, how he didn't sleep very well because it's hot. But you are on an island in Africa, like it's gonna be hot. Complaining about the bunk beds, but she's happy that he respected their culture and her dad specifically and slept in the separate bunk. He then complains that he's gonna go take a shower and the water is cold. He realizes that he is so dramatic, and he sees that her family is laughing at him because of all his theatrics. And to me, I'm just like, you suck. Then he's complaining as the family is doing a nice gesture and making customary food for him. And one of them is the cassava leaves, and they're grinding it and preparing it. And he's like, ew, is that the ones that was bitter that I don't like? Complain. Dad sees him and wants to talk to his daughter, and he's like, no, but alone. Cracked me up. And the dad's basically like, listen, I welcome Rick. I feel like you're marrying him for fun and not for future. He's not serious about anything, and he's refusing you children. And you know that in our culture, that is the most important thing in a marriage. And so I don't see what the point of this at all. And if he doesn't give you kids, what future do you have? And what does that look like? And he says, sweetheart, it just worries me. And I just thought, you know what? He's speaking from his heart, his tradition, and his culture, his beliefs to his daughter. And I just really appreciated it. And then the dad says, before he leaves, we need a definitive answer from him. And this is where I was shocked that Trisha defended him, because I know that's important to her to have children as well. Like, she's literally said this and has confronted Rick and has stood her ground up until this moment. And now she's like, oh, but what if I love him and he decides that he doesn't want to have kids? Are you asking me to choose between you, dad, and the family and Rick? And the dad's like, yeah. Yes, there is no middle ground. And what I
Mhm.
loved about that, Abby, is because she was just as firm in her belief before Rick, I don't know what spell he put on her, because he already cheated, he's lied, then he's been texting his ex, all the things, but
Mhm.
she's still standing up for him and saying, "Oh, well, he hurt me, but I still love him." And then
Right.
now you're not standing on your convictions of your whole 25-year life where you said that you wanted to have a baby, and that's who, and you're even a midwife, and that your baby's all around you, and that's who you are, and that's who you love. And now this friggin' clown comes in who has 5 kids of his own, so he's got the dream that you've said that you wanted your whole life, but you're now gonna put that aside because this fool says, well, he can't decide, which he already decided, by the way. He's told us and the producers that he doesn't want any more kids. He's just
Right.
wasting your time.
He's wasting her time. I truly believe that if Trish had said to her father, it's not important to me to have kids, that he would have backed off. I think the reason why he's pushing forward is because he knows that that is what she does want, that is what she does believe, and he wants to make sure that she's not faltering on her own desires and wishes. Because I really do think the way the conversation was going, she didn't say, I don't want children. She said, but what if I love him and that's his decision? I really do think that that father gave her an opportunity to say, children aren't actually that important to me. And she didn't say that. So he was like, full steam ahead.
I listen, I loved everything that he talked about, and I agree with you in the sense that he was looking up, he was reminding his daughter of who she is and who she's presented to be her whole life as he's raised her. But the fact that she goes on to say that she wants to convince Rick to have a baby because she loves him so much and he's a good man, I just that whole
You cannot force a man to be a father, nor should you want to force a man to be a father. That's not going to end up well.
none of that makes sense.
Yeah, it
Convince
doesn't make
Rick
sense.
to
But
have a baby, you're gonna resent him, he's gonna resent you, and the baby's gonna be the one that suffers the most. You
right.
love him so much that he's a good man. What part of good has there been? He brought a plastic tarp. He made you dress like a jungle woman. He's cheated on you. He's lied to you. He's lying to your face right now. He doesn't care what your wishes and desires are for the future. He is thinking only of himself because
Hmm.
he took a few dollars to get one nice Airbnb because that's
Hmm.
really all he did.
Hmm.
What
Yeah, there's nothing we could say about Rick that would make me say he is interested in your future, in your life and development. If he was truly looking out for her, he would have brought over whatever book she needs to study to get into nursing school in the United States. He would have started talking about ways that she can um, gain some independence there. What others, tell me what other skills that you have, how else can we integrate you into my life? But because all he sees her as is a babysitter and a sex toy,
Yeah, I'm not
he's
into it.
done nothing to indicate he's interested in her personal development. And that is something I think that we should add to Linda's list. What has this person done to show they're interested in your personal development and your business and your career goals, in your family goals, like whatever it is that's important to you? What have they done to show that they're going to help propel you in that way? Because women do it all the time.
All the
We
time.
help men manage their emotions. We help them manage their businesses. We help them manage their social media. We help men become. There is no man standing that has achieved any modicum of success that doesn't have a woman in his shadow.
100%.
So, what has this man done to help you become?
We'll definitely have to add that to our list. The list. Question of the day, ladies and gentlemen, live chat. If you're watching the replay, here is the question of the day. Do you think Trisha will choose Rick over her family? Let us know in the live chat. Yes, she will because she loves him so much, or no, she won't because family is everything to her. Will will Trisha choose Rick over her family? Let us know. Let us know. Let us know in the comments. Becca, I shouted you out. You got to watch the beginning of the show. There's a whole segment on you. Becca's in the live chat saying he would have known the Madagascar was a country and not just a movie. I told you, comedian.
Right?
Comedian. Yeah, so one last time. Do you think Trisha will choose Rick over her family? Yes or no? Let us know in the chat. Let us know in the replay. All the things. Do you want to add anything else?
Just, shout out to avoiding eye contact, hanging out with us today, being super active in the live chat. We love to hear from everybody. We appreciate everybody, Raydella, everybody who's in the live chat. But,
y'all are popping today. Absolutely. Becca says, I hope not, but I think yes. So that's the first vote we have. She thinks that Trisha will choose Rick over her family. What are your thoughts, Abby?
I think she will continue to try and make this relationship work, and I wish that she wouldn't. By the way, did you see, so I said that I thought that Tyrell might be a good match, or Tyree might be a good match for Trisha, and somebody vehemently opposed me on Instagram. Did you see that?
I saw the whole thread. That whole thread was wild. I was like, here's the thing. I'm on the West Coast, so a lot of these incidents happen way early in the morning. I come in, my phone is blown up, and I'm looking, and I want to participate, but I'm like, I haven't had my coffee yet, and that one person that was going in the super hard with the long essay. I didn't see the things that person saw when I watched Tyree in his season. So I don't know if I was not privy to some of the things that person was privy to, but woo!
Yeah, they had feelings. I was like, is this something happening on his live chats that I, didn't see? But, I was like, oh, well, I didn't know about that. So
I'm going to leave y'all with this. Rumor on the street is that Trisha is pregnant. And I want you guys to all go to her Instagram because I was like, that being said, we will see you shortly. We're 2 episodes behind, so we're going to catch up. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Follow us all on our social medias, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, the whole shebang, okay? The whole shebang. And we'll see you shortly. Have a great weekend. Bye.
bye.